This is the greatest country in the world. No more unemployment, no more inflation, no more workers on strike, no more violence in the streets. My father says big government is to blame for our problems. And the Jews. And the immigrants. The blacks. The homosexuals. The mentally and physically handicapped. Rats as the lowest form of animals. And the Jews as the lowest form of mankind. If we can get rid of the Jews, the world will be a better place. That is what the Führer says. Heil Hitler! I've been a member of the Hitler Youth since I was 7. We say Heil Hitler if we meet a friend in our way to school. We say Heil Hitler as the beginning and end of every class. The postman says Heil Hitler. The woman who sells those groceries says Heil Hitler. And if our parents don't say Heil Hitler, we are supposed to report them and they will be arrested. I promise at all times to do my duty for the Führer. So help me God. November 9, 1938. Germany needs you. Heil Hitler!
My name is Helmut Silverberg. I was born in 1926 in Germany and later moved to Holland to escape the Nazis. My nickname is Hello, which is what Anne Frank called me in her diary. When I was a teenager, I escaped again and hid from the Nazis in a townhouse in Belgium. That's how I survived the Holocaust.
My name is Eva Schloss. I was born in Austria in 1929. When I was a teenager, I was in hiding for 22 months in Holland. I was arrested by the Nazis and spent 9 months in the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. I'm a Holocaust survivor.
What was it like to live through that?
How did you survive?
Why were the Nazis so cruel?
That could never happen again, could it?
My grandfather, who lived in Germany in 1933, happened to be on a business trip in Amsterdam, and the day Hitler was elected, he called my grandmother on the telephone, told her to sell everything. He's not coming back to set foot in Germany. He understood something that some people did and some didn't.
When the Germans the Nazis entered Austria in March 1938, suddenly things became quite different for us. Friends which we have had for years didn't want to know us anymore. So I couldn't understand why suddenly I'm different from my friends. And it was something which I really couldn't grasp.
There were people such as my father who thought that this would blow over. The idea being that the German people would never allow this to go on. They're civilized. This cannot happen here. This is as far as it's going to go. And he belonged to, unfortunately, to a group of Jewish people who were wrong. Pulled up with a group of thugs. They were civilians from different areas with sledgehammers and various other devices.
Schmeißen wir die Fenster ein. Hier wohnen bestimmt Saujuden. Hier ist noch ein Jude.
Are they gone, Mother? Mother? Shh.
My mother, who was at the door, was hit with a sledgehammer over the shoulder.
Mother, did they hurt you?
They hit me.
I know, I didn't know what to do. They had sledgehammers and crowbars, they were drunk.
They hit me!
They were yelling, they were smashing the furniture.
Your father, where is your father?
They didn't get
Did
him.
they take your father?
I'm here.
We had a flat roof in back of where we were living. My father was able to get out there. We have often wondered about the reactions of our neighbors who witnessed some of this. And I don't really know. I am certain that there were people in Germany who were abhorred by this, Germans. But not much was done to help the Jews.
It's best if you go to your grandparents for a while.
But we haven't done anything wrong. It's a mistake, you said yourself.
It's too dangerous, son. We don't know what's going to happen.
What do you mean?
You'll be safe in Amsterdam with your grandparents.
We'll join you as soon as we can. If you get scared, remember our secret song, yes?
I knew how to get by streetcar to the railroad station. And on the way, I saw the Essen synagogue in flames, burning. And people from the fire department standing nearby and doing nothing. I was 12 years old. I didn't have a passport at that age, but I had an ID card with my name. And
At the Dutch border, two guards wearing SS uniforms asked me to step out of the train.
Silverberg.
He's a child.
He's Jewish.
Aber er ist nur ein Kind.
Die werden erwachsen, die Kinder. Den schnappen wir uns.
Kinder brauchen wir nicht zu nehmen.
Wir haben Instruktionen, dass wir alle nehmen von 12 aufwärts. Das sieht man mindestens nach 12 aus.
Ja, Befehl ist Befehl, das brauche ich nicht mehr zu hören. Kinder
something happened. I never knew what, at the other end of the station platform, and they walked away.
And I got back on the train. By the time I reached my grandparents' home in Amsterdam, they had no idea what had happened in Germany.
I always felt that at first they really didn't believe me, why I was there.
But the next day, it is on the radio, and in all of the newspapers. The German Kristallnacht, Knights of the Broken Glass, had destroyed Jewish businesses and burned synagogues. 30,000 German Jewish men and boys were arrested and sent to concentration camps. I have no idea when I'll see my parents again. Or even if I'll see my parents again. I am lucky to be with my grandparents in Amsterdam. For the moment, I'm in a safe place.
I suppose I should be describing what it feels like to go into hiding. But I don't know yet much myself. I only know it's funny. Never to go outside, or run, or jump, or shout. It's the silence in the night that frightens me the most. Whenever I hear a creak in the house, or a step on the street outside, I'm sure they're coming for us. But the days aren't so bad. At least we know that Meep and Mr. Crawler are downstairs in the office. Our protectors, we call them. I asked Father what would happen if the Nazis found out they were hiding us. Pim said they would suffer the same fate we would. Imagine. They know this, and yet when they come upstairs, they're cheerful and gay and act like they don't have a care in the world.
My brother Hans looked rather Jewish, in difference with me, who is blonde and blue-eyed. And so everybody knew he was Jewish. And his friends from his school, from his class, attacked him one day. And he came home all bleeding, his nose and his eye was cut.
Heinz, what happened?
They attacked me.
Who?
I was at school. I was just standing so I wasn't even doing anything.
Such a thing?
They were friends, just kids from school. They called me a filthy Jew and then they started hitting me.
Well, why didn't you tell the teacher?
Eva, he was there, my teacher. He just watched the whole thing.
Muti! Well, what did he do? Surely he stops the fight.
He watched and then he walked away.
Muti!
This was the situation in Austria at the time.
We leave Austria and immigrate to Belgium.
And then we move again.
And again.
We're trying to stay one step ahead of the Nazis.
By 1940, we settle in Amsterdam, Holland, where my father thinks we will be safe.
Every month, we will measure you and see how much you've grown. You'll be safe here. We'll all be safe here.
You're growing so fast, Evie. We'll have to have that dress lengthened.
There was a dressmaker in our block where we lived. And we got there and she said, "Can you just wait in the hall?"
So I sit down and hear a voice behind the curtain. A girl who sounds very determined.
This dress would look much better with shoulder pads. Do you think the hemline is all right this way? I think the hemline should be just a little higher. And shoulder pads, definitely shoulder pads.
It was Anne Frank.
Do you like it?
Oh, yes.
I didn't know, of course, that later on I was going to be asked questions about her because she became really a very famous person through writing a diary. She was a very pretty girl, very lively, talked a lot, giggled a lot.
Eva, is that boy looking at me?
Who?
That boy. Don't look. I don't want him to see us looking.
Who is he?
Just one of my many admirers. Do you like boys, Eva?
Well, my brother Heinz is a boy. He's perfectly nice.
You have a brother? You're so lucky. I have a sister, Margot. She's 3 years older than us. She says she doesn't really like boys, but I think she's just a big pretender. He's looking again, and he has a friend. Maybe his friend is in love with you.
I don't know.
You should talk to him.
I'm still so new, Anne. I can't speak Dutch yet. I feel strange, like I don't belong.
Oh, Eva, you must come to my flat and meet my father. He can speak German to you.
Otto Frank, when I met him first, was a very tall, distinguished-looking gentleman. He right away made me feel very much at home. And he spoke to me in German, which was wonderful for me because I'd just been in Amsterdam perhaps for 6 weeks, and I didn't speak the language, of course. I didn't suspect that later on he was to become my stepfather.
Just as I was falling asleep, my friend, Hanelli, appeared, dressed in rags and her face thin and worn. She looked at me with such sadness in her eyes I could read the message in them. Oh, Anne, why have you deserted me? Help me! Help me! Rescue me from this hell! If only I could. Why have I been chosen to live and you to die? Oh, Hanelli, if you ever return, I'll take you in and share everything I have with you. Are you still alive? I keep seeing your enormous eyes, keep seeing myself in your place. You're a reminder of what my fate might have been. What will we do if we're... No, I mustn't say that. But the question won't go away. It looms before me in total, absolute horror.
The Nazis came in with their armies on May 10th, 1940, and occupied the Netherlands rather quickly.
After 5 days, the Germans had won the war. They bombarded Rotterdam, and the Dutch capitulated. So then we realized we were really trapped. They started to take the measures against the Jewish population. So life became very, very difficult.
Jews are not allowed to go outside after 8 o'clock at night.
Or before 6 o'clock in the morning.
Posters and signs everywhere.
Notices appear in the newspaper.
Jews are not allowed to go shopping in certain shops.
Only Jewish shops.
And only between the hours of 3 and 5 p.m.
Now we are forbidden to attend the theaters or the movies.
Now we are not even allowed to have a radio.
Which is terrible because the radio is the only place we get information about the war.
And music. I miss listening to music on the radio.
And I had a little sailboat on the Amsterdam River. But I had to turn it over to the Nazis, because Jews are not allowed to have boats.
Jews are forbidden to take part in any athletic activity in public.
You can do this and you can't do that.
Jews are forbidden to visit Christians in their homes.
Christians are not allowed to teach us.
We have to leave our schools.
We have to leave our friends.
We have to go to Jewish schools.
With Jewish teachers.
Jews are not allowed on public transportation.
Now we can't even ride the buses.
We can't ride the trains.
We can only ride our bicycles.
Then we had to hand in our bicycles.
By the time it became a very serious issue, a freedom-threatening issue, it was too late. There was nowhere, no place to go.
Beginning on April 29, 1942, all Jews in Holland were required to wear the yellow star.
But why do we have to wear it?
It shows you are Jewish. You can be proud of it. There's nothing wrong with being a Jew.
It had to be sewn on the left-hand side of our garment, on exactly a particular spot.
Every outside piece of clothing has to show the yellow star. If you listen very carefully, you must always wear the yellow star now. If you don't, the Germans could arrest you.
Yes, you see, I was with my friend and it was a very hot day out. So my friend, he took off his jacket and he didn't have the yellow star on his shirt. An informer Nazi saw us and he arrested my friend. He's never been heard from again. He was 16 years old.
The Green Police would cordon off a block of apartment buildings in Amsterdam and go from apartment to apartment, ringing doorbells. People would open, they would march in and look for young people.
I was in my grandparents' bedroom when they knocked. The door to the wardrobe was open and I stood behind it. The police came in. They looked around. They looked in the wardrobe. But not behind the open door. They didn't see me. They left. By sheer dumb luck, they just didn't see me.
I received this diary from my parents for my 13th birthday. It's the most beautiful diary ever. The cover is red plaid, all these blank pages. I can't imagine what I'll write in it. Something unexpected happened yesterday morning as I was passing the bicycle racks. I heard my name being called.
Anne?
I turned around and there was this nice boy.
Anne? My name is Helmut Silverberg.
I know. Your friends call you Hello. Hello? Hello.
Hello, Anne. I was hoping, if it's all right with you, can I walk you to school?
Oh, yes. As long as you're headed that way. Hello is 16 and I think he likes me.
I continued to see her on different occasions, some by coincidence and some on purpose.
I turned the corner and there he was, waiting for me again. He pretended it was just a coincidence, but I think it was on purpose. He definitely likes me.
The thing I remember most about her, besides her ability to communicate, is some of her body language when she was sitting in a club chair at my grandparents' home. She would put her arms under her chin and lean forward, which could be interpreted as being flirtatious.
I was born in Germany, but we moved here when I was 4. I have all kinds of hobbies. I like making up stories. I like listening to music. I have a diary and a cat named Mochi. So, tell me something about you.
Well, I come from Germany too. My parents are in Belgium, but there's no way I can get there now. So I'm living with my grandparents. They're kind of old-fashioned. They think you're too young for me.
I'm 13.
I'm 16.
I'll be 16 in 3 years.
I don't know whether you can be in love at age 16, really, but I was certainly attracted to her.
When will I see you again?
I can see you every Wednesday evening, Saturday afternoons, Saturday evenings, Sunday afternoons, and maybe even more.
He definitely loves me.
The sun is shining. The sky is a deep blue. There's a lovely breeze, and I'm longing. So longing for everything. To talk. For freedom. For friends. To be alone. And I do so long to cry. I feel as if I'm going to burst. And I know that it would get better with crying, but I can't. I'm restless. I go from one room to the other. Breathe through the crack of a closed window. Feel my heart beating as if it were saying, "Can't you satisfy my longings at last?" I believe that spring is within me. I believe that spring is awakening. I feel it in my whole body and soul. It's an effort to behave normally. I feel utterly confused. I don't know what to read. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to do. I only know that I'm longing.
My brother Heinz, he was 3 years older than me, and we had a wonderful relationship. And he was a very, very talented person. He wrote poetry, he painted, he was a wonderful musician. He played piano, he played guitar.
Did I wake you?
Oh, it's all right. I can't sleep anyway.
Sometimes I think that I must already be asleep. That if I can just wake up, all of this, it'll go back to the way it used to be. Remember the way it used to be? I still have my little sailboat. I'd get in it, and I'd float. I'd float far, far away. To a place where it's far away.
And I'd go with you.
But something terrible is going to happen, Evie.
No.
I can feel it.
In June 1942, in the morning there came a card with a post, which was very ordinary postcard, and it says that
Heinz Geiringer has 3 days to report.
Why are they doing this?
With a backpack and a few belongings.
It will be slave labor.
That he will be transported to a work camp in Germany.
He's just a boy.
Don't worry, Mutti. They won't harm me if I work hard.
the Nazis went after the young people because they didn't want Jews to survive, and especially young people who would be their parents who would have children later. So those were the people they wanted to kill first, so that there would be no new generation of Jews.
I don't want to go.
Of course you're not
You're not going. It's getting too dangerous for us here. It's time we disappeared.
Well, what does that mean?
I've made arrangements for us to go into hiding.
Hiding?
We're going to live with other people.
What other people?
For how long?
Just for a little while, until the war ends.
A month. 2 months.
You will go with Mutti. Heinz will go with me.
What?
Evie, 4 people
Well,
are too many to
why can't we all
have.
stay together?
Thirsty. Be a grown-up girl now. Take care of Moody for me. If we are in more than one place, there's a better chance that at least 2 of us will survive.
We didn't tell anyone about our plans, of course, because you never know what would betray you. My family and the Frank family went probably into hiding at the same time.
Hiding? What does that mean? Where will we hide? With who? For how long? Why can't we all stay together? Well, who will sleep here? Look out our windows. What about my friends? What will happen to them?
My entire friendship with Anna was limited to 1942. One day I was due to come to her home on a Sunday afternoon and rang the doorbell, and there was no answer. I can't tell you exactly what I thought, but you have to understand that it was not unusual for people to just disappear.
Maybe they got away. People can get away.
I recall that I was very taken aback, that I was sad about it, not seeing her. I had seen her that morning, but that was the last time I saw her.
Maybe they got away.
My mother and me left in the morning and went right across Amsterdam to go to this new place where we were going to stay with the school teacher, Mrs. Clompe.
Well, our contact from the resistance said that we must have a hiding place within a hiding place.
Decided we should make a false partition at one end of the bathroom and tile it with a little trapdoor.
A hiding place within a hiding place.
They work very late one Sunday night until they finish it.
They leave and we go to bed.
And in the night, we heard suddenly lorries outside and shouting and knocking on the doors.
And my mother and me, we quickly jump into a hiding place and put the trap door on.
And my mother sat on the toilet and I sat on the floor next to her and waited. And a few minutes later we heard the Germans with their heavy boots clumping up the stairs, and my heart was beating so loud that I was sure they would hear it through the partition.
We hear them opening the bathroom door. We hear them come in. We hear them looking. We hear them searching. We hear them talking. We hear one of them say, "Nobody's here."
They're walking away.
Out of the room, down the stairs, out of the house.
The door slams.
They're gone.
And this is something when I talk to you about it now, I feel it as if it's still happening.
We're safe. But I can't sleep for the rest of the night. The sun comes up and it all begins again. Well, in hiding, the minutes turn into days, turn into weeks, turn into months. Oh, I'd give anything to be able to walk in the fresh air again, to feel the sunshine, to be free. Well, my mother and I, we have to sit at this kitchen table all day and whisper. We can't even move around.
Shh. The neighbors might hear you. No one can know that we're here.
But I am here. You're here, Moody. Goodness, at night sometimes I get so frustrated I just kick my sheets.
Oh, Evie.
I'm 14 years old, Moody. I want a normal life.
Miss Klump will be home soon. Then we can move around. Then we can talk.
Move around, talk. I want to go ice skating on the canals and drink hot cocoa. I want to go to school. I want to see my friends. I want us to be a family again. I miss Pappy, I miss Heinz.
If you spend 2 years with one person day and night, of course you have a very, very close relationship. So I was really my mother's everything, and she was everything to me.
And I had been to see friends who lived relatively far away. I was late coming home.
It's 10 minutes past 8. 10 minutes past curfew. I turn a corner within a block of my grandparents' home, and there they are. German soldiers. They don't even ask for identification. They don't have to. I'm wearing the yellow star.
They didn't say much. They just, one of them took me by my arm and told him to get on the truck.
I'm on this truck for about a half hour. There's a young German guard who's holding a rifle and staring straight ahead. I know that if I'm going to escape, this is it. So I push him off balance and jump off the truck and into the road. For 1 second, I think I'm safe. Then look up and see headlights coming toward me. I roll away just in time to get away from the wheels of the next truck. I get up and start running. Running and running, I don't look back. I hide in the doorway of an apartment building where I know people. But I don't ring their bell. I just stay here for an hour or so. Finally. Then it's really dark. I go home.